taking a walk in the nature makes me happy. I exercise quite frequently. That makes me happy. I think spending time with my wife, my kids. So maybe I'm at a stage in life where I'm not looking at very big things to make me happy. Even the small things make me happy. I'm 60 now, so right now I do a job. I have a job which is very fulfilling. That makes me happy. Sounds a little ironic that now even the smaller things, very small things, make me happy. You work, you study, whatever you have to do, but then it's not the 100% of your life. You have other things in your life. I think about 8 or 9 years ago, I went to one of the meditation retreats, which gave me a lot of insight. Impermanence, this too shall pass, ye bhi chala jayega. Whether it's too good or too bad. This impermanence, this too shall pass. Whenever I come across any professional challenge, I look back for that experience that day, and then I feel if I could do that, I could do even this one.
Namaste and a very warm welcome to all the listeners and our guest. And for the 16th episode of Amity Happiness Podcast titled Executive Harmony Conversations with Global Leaders on Happiness and Spirituality. At the very outset, we express our deep gratitude to our visionary leader, Honorable Chancellor of Amity University, Dr. Atul Chauhan, whose unwavering mission has been to ensure academic success and the holistic well-being and happiness of every student, faculty, staff across Amity. His vision continues to inspire us to create platforms like this Happiness Podcast and much more that explore deeper dimensions of inner leadership, inner balance, and purposeful living. On behalf of Amity University Reiki Foundation Center for Science of Happiness, I, Professor Nitin Arora, as the head of center, it's my absolute pleasure and honor to welcome today's distinguished guest, Dr. Sanjay. Most welcome to this Happiness Podcast at Amity University.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Verma is a truly unique blend of science, strategy, and soul. Currently serving as the Chief Sleep Officer at Jensen Beds, Norway. He leads the Sleep Center of Expertise, crafting innovative sleep solutions rooted in science and design. But beyond his corporate titles, he is a man on a mission to bring rest, rhythm, and renewal to lives across the globe. What makes today's episode even more exciting is that Dr. Verma is not just a business leader, he's also a trusted sleep coach to Sweden's Olympic athletes, contributing to the success of medalists at the Tokyo, Beijing, and Paris Games. His work bridges the world of peak performance and personal well being in ways few others can claim. With a PhD in strategic management, an MBA, and a foundation in design, he represents the kind of interdisciplinary leadership the world so desperately needs today. One that doesn't chase results, but also nurtures happiness, balance, and inner peace. Today, we dive into this journey, the science of sleep, the art of happiness, and the spirit behind true success. Dr. Verma, welcome to the Executive Harmony. We are delighted to have you with us.
It's a pleasure.
In the boardrooms we find a different kind of mind. Leaders taking time to seek the truth inside. Heart and soul aligned. In wisdom we can find. Let's spark a change in kind. The journey executive harmony. Together we'll explore happiness and spirit. Fearless in spirituality, we're searching for much more. At the Center for Science of Happiness, where peace and joy reside. CEOs and guides, their story is far and wide. From boardrooms to the tide, in a peace they'll find. Executive harmony. Together we'll explore happiness and spirit. Fearless in spirituality, we're searching for much more. At the Center for Science of Happiness, where peace and joy reside. From the highs to lows, the wisdom of the pros. In each step we'll grow, with every word they show. Executive harmony. Together we'll explore happiness and spirit. Fearless in spirituality, we're searching for much more. At the Center for Science of Happiness, where peace and joy reside. From the highs to lows, the wisdom of the pros. In each step we'll grow, with every word they show.
So that's the anthem for our this happiness podcast. Okay. Dr. Sanjay, first of all, I want to express my joy that the day I read about you, the sleep officer, I was too joyful. I was too joyful. I thought कि ऐसा भी कुछ होता है कि like yes we know marketing officer, we know
Yeah.
IT officers and all, even happiness officers भी हैं. But then when I heard about sleep officers, I was jumping with joy. Okay, now we take up the first section, which is the personal happiness section.
Yeah.
Which I will be talking about, asking you question about that at a personal level, how you
Okay.
perceive the happiness. So
Mhm.
the first one. So what does happiness mean to you personally?
Well, I don't think I have ever thought about a formal definition of happiness. I can share maybe what makes me happy. I think is spending time with my wife, my kids. Kids, they are grown-ups. And that gives me a lot of joy and happiness. And then very small things like taking a walk in the nature makes me happy. I exercise quite frequently. That makes me happy. So maybe I'm at a stage in life where I'm not looking at very big things to make me happy. Even the small things make me happy. I'm 60 now, so uh, like buying my first home, that made me a lot of happiness. Even before that, buying my new first car made me very happy. So those were like a bit more materialistic things which I was desiring, wishing, longing for. And when it happened, that in the moment, it made me happy. And that has been like evolving over the period of time. Right now, I do a job, I have a job which is very fulfilling. That makes me happy. So it's a little fuzzy, but in short, maybe small things make me happy. it could be a cup of coffee. It could be even walking across. If I'm walking and someone is coming from the other side, we say hey, and then a person smiles. That makes me happy.
Okay.
uh, and when you ask that if it has changed for me, I mean, if I look back, of course, when I was very young, I wanted to get into, like any other typical Indian, into a good college. So I got into one of the RECs. That made me very happy. Then I got to study what I wanted to study. That made me very happy, although I was not in the very top in the merit list. So that was unexpected, but and gradually there have been like milestones across. I think it has been a kind of evolution, and now it sounds a little ironic that now even the smaller things, very small things, make me happy.
So since everything makes you happy, so I'm sure when you start your day, is there
Yeah.
anything ritual that you have developed every day morning that this is the first thing that you do once you wake up?
Yeah, lately I get freshen up, and then I do like at least 10 minutes of a stretching slash yoga slash little aerobics, kind of just to get going. And this movement, uh, a combination, this whole combination is, I do almost, like I would say, almost every day, unless I have traveled somewhere, there is jet lag and so on. But this is my standard ritual, and it kind of makes me ready, steady, go. So in that
Like,
sense, I'm ready.
so like for the actor, it is yeah, what we say, the light camera action. So
Action,
ready, steady,
exactly.
go.
Yeah, yeah. And
Hmm.
so I don't need any apparatus or anything. So even in a hotel room, I can do it. So that's my go-to ritual in the morning every day.
Okay. So since you are into a specific profession or a specific area like a sleep
Hmm.
officer, so as someone deeply involved like you in sleep science, how does your own sleep affect your mood and happiness?
Now it affects more, or maybe I notice now much more than what I used to do earlier. So although I have been in this furniture, bed, mattress industry for a long time, and even in the very beginning, I used to train and teach about sleep. I never realized that what is a very good sleep and a bad sleep, because I was sleeping very poorly for a very long time. So in the last 6 or so years, when I have focused much more on it, and I taught myself how to sleep really well. And then I see that even if I sleep little bit worse than my standard, I feel a difference. So I have started noticing it much more, and I wouldn't say it affects a lot of happiness on a day-to-day basis, but maybe my mood, my how I feel, how I interact with people. But being a bit conscious now, I try to manage it, but it does affect my day-to-day activities.
Question was asked to Elon Musk about since he manages multiple roles
Yeah.
and all that, how
Hmm.
much time you sleep. People were not expecting a very large amount of hours, but when he
Mm,
said I sleep at least 6 hours, people were
mm,
amazed.
mm.
Since you are managing all of this
Yeah.
affairs and still you
Mm,
manage 6 hours, he said, I have experimented. I tried to not to sleep for many nights.
mm,
I tried to sleep for long, like a horse horse
yeah.
sleep, and
Hmm.
but then I found optimal is 5 to 6 hours. So no
Hmm.
matter what is my schedule, I have to sleep because my brain will not work if I sleep
Mm,
less or even if I sleep more.
yeah.
Sir, was there a moment in your life when you felt truly deeply happy? Something you often go back, like you want to recollect some memories.
Yeah, of course, there have been several such moments, but one of the probably most powerful happened way back in 1997. Um, I had established a greenfield project, a factory to make biscuits.
Okay.
This was in the very rural area in Bihar where I come from, and I wanted to create some employment because things were not good in those days, at least in Bihar. So, in middle of nowhere, creating everything from a scratch, a fully computer controlled production plant, employing 135 people. The day we did the inauguration, I think that gave me immense joy and pleasure and happiness. I think that's the highest point in my life. I've done many things after that, but in that situation, in that place, with all those challenges and limitations, so whenever I come across any professional challenge, I look back for that experience that day, and then I feel if I could do that, I could do even this one. So yeah, that's one of the most high thing I have done ever. So
Just before your session, we had a session with one of the Olympic javelin thrower from Lithuania just before
okay.
your session.
Mm,
So when I asked her, how do you keep yourself happy? Something similar. So
mm,
she said, I have to remember, I have to recall
mm,
my past success moments
yes,
so that I can recover my current stressful moments. Because if
right.
I don't have positive memories,
Mm.
so this is a very harsh moment for training and routine. If I fail in the matches and all that, so I have to recall the old moments, something.
I mean,
So
this is quite um, this is taught very well in a kind of training program called NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. It's not 100% very scientific, but in many corporate world, this is used kind of to put you in that state of mind where you start believing in that and then you do it, you feel it and then you do it. So I could relate to her way of getting over the stressful situations.
So you have been a part of India for many years, and you have stayed in few states of India, and now you have moved to the you can say a Scandinavian lifestyle. So,
Hmm.
is there anything that you believe has changed or added because of this new location, new kind of people around you, which
I think
added?
it has. It has. Of course, I grew up in India. I left India around age 25. Then I was again back for 3 years, 4 years, and then I have lived in several countries, and I had opportunity also to settle down in the US, not once but twice. But ultimately, we chose as a family to settle down here in Sweden, and the main reason is the work-life balance and also, of course, educational facilities and so on. So, more specific, you can be yourself. You work, you study whatever you have to do, but then it's not the 100% of your life. You have other things in your life, and you can do that with all respect and dignity. No one will look down at you, said that why you are ignoring your studies or your work or whatnot. For example, most people, I would say almost 95% or even more, they don't touch their work phone after 4 p.m. on Friday until 8 a.m. on Monday, for example.
They don't
So,
touch phones,
not work phones.
work
So,
phones.
yeah, no laptops. So, you're not supposed to take a call or respond to your email or whatnot. And I mean, most of the time, no one will contact you because in this part of the world. So that kind of balance adds, of course, to happiness indirectly because it gives you time and opportunity to pursue things which makes you happy. I mean, of course, the nature of job can also make one happy, but for many, probably it might not be the 100%. You want to do other things as well. So in that case, the whole approach of the society to treat a human being as a human being, not only an apparatus in the economic function, gives the leeway to live a more balanced and I would say happier life.
Okay. Uh, like in this part of the world, if I say Asian context,
Yeah,
so the most important work comes only in the weekend.
yeah,
So people are maybe not There are many pressures also for startups. That is a different context. But
Mm.
yes, in a normal traditional organization also. So weekend is not a weekend. Weekend is an extended weekday kind of a thing. That
I
is
mean,
extended weekday.
I might disagree with that because, I mean, of course, the practice is correct, but is that the most productive way of doing it? I might disagree with that.
Have been in a family man or a professional and an individual traveler also. So there must be something or the other that stress comes to you. So how do you manage your stress or setbacks while maintaining your own emotional balance?
It has been a journey. I mean, like many other very ambitious people, I set very high standards for myself. And if I could not reach that, even if I miss it by a small margin, it made me very depressed and stressed and irritated and whatnot. And that was going on mostly in the professional career. But I think about 8 or 9 years ago, I went to one of the meditation retreats, which gave me a lot of insight. And after that, it has changed a lot. Acceptance, then this shall, this too shall pass, impermanence, those kind of concepts, and not only reading the concepts, but feeling it, understanding it, gave a very different perspective. So, I mean, now for the past few years, I'm much more, I would say I'm better equipped to handle those small or big stressful situations. And I've also realized that I'm not such a big thing to, I mean, the world goes on, things happen. So my ego has been cut down to size as well. No, so basically acceptance, having a better perspective and not taking too seriously myself has helped me in learning and handling the stressful situations much better now than what I used to do earlier.
Yes. So just on a similar note, I just got a remembrance of one of my colleague, professor in American University. As a colleague of mine, we were in Jordan. So that professor was an American professor working in Jordan in American University. He
Mm,
was for some cases. So he said me, Nitin, I want to tell you one thing. Maybe I was half his age at that time. He said, Nitin, I
mm.
want to tell you I missed the Nobel Prize. I said, is it so? You missed the Nobel Prize, so it means you must have worked very hard and the competition took over. He said,
Mm.
no, I never tried for it. So the way you said it, some people have come to peace at some way of their life going on.
Mm.
Since is there any happiness mantra do you follow in your personal life? Any story or any punchline you always repeat very often?
I think I have taken it to my heart that this impermanence, this too shall pass, ye bhi chala jayega, whether it's too good or too bad. So it's not only the feeling about when there is something bad happening, but also
The good.
I have learned to take my successes also not so seriously because it's always a roller coaster kind of thing. It's never upward curve all the time. So it's not very sexy mantra, but it works for me.
Last one. If you had a happiness toolkit in your backpack and you are going for travel, what are the three things it would be in your happiness backpack or a toolkit?
I think at least for me, the movement helps. So I try to do some kind of exercise, walking, jogging, whatever. Sitting still or lying still or on the sofa watching TV, that kind of thing makes me a little lethargic. So the movement is one thing which is in my like one of the top three things I would say. Then listening to music. I still prefer in 70s, 80s kind of Bollywood songs of that time, or Jagjit Singh or that kind of Chitra Singh kind of a bit sensible ghazals. Of course, I listen everything, but those are the things when I'm alone and if I want to, yeah, I connect with that genre of music much more than anything else. That one, and then a little bit of reflection slash mindfulness slash meditation. That's my third thing. So it need not be very formal, sitting cross-legged on that, but even a walk through a park, not listening to music, just observing what is happening around.
Okay.
That works for me.
So that was it about the section number one, knowing you and your personal happiness domains, mantras, quote, what you do, how it affects. Thank you for taking up all the questions for section number one. Now we move on to number two section, which is for
Okay.
organizational happiness. So first of all, sir, please tell me about your organization and your the title, which we are very much attracted to, the Chief Sleep Officer.
So I work for a company which makes a lot of beds, mattresses. When we say bed, it's like extensive layers of mattresses and so on. And we make quite a lot of those. And of course, there is competition now in the marketplace. So a few years back, top management decided that we need to differentiate our product so that we don't need to sell on discounts. So this is very standard in marketing. Either you become the cheapest producer or you differentiate so much that you can charge a premium. So most people, when they buy a bed, a mattress, or for that matter, any product, we buy a product because we have a problem. We want to solve that problem through that product or service. So for a mattress, the problem is to be solved is to get good sleep. So how we as a company can develop our products and also position our product on lines that this product will give you a better sleep. And being a production company, we had all the resources, the skill sets, and the knowledge how to produce good beds and mattresses, but not so much about sleep. And that's the time they hired me, and I was asked to set up this sleep center of expertise. So over the period, we have collected scientific information which helps our research and development and new product development teams in producing better quality products, which means the mattresses which can help with a better sleep, and then accessories, pillows, duvets, some small accessories as well. So as I combine a little understanding of commercial side, because I had worked in business development in bed mattress industry for many years, all across the globe, and then I've done PhD, so which means I'm trained to find scientific information, not anything what Google says. So me and my small team, this is our job, and so that's main part. But then I'm also face of the company when it comes to talk about sleep to the public. So to the companies, to PR, interviews, podcasts like this. Um, so that's personally what I do, and the chief word, the prefix is basically to make it more accountable that me and then what me and my team conveys to the team internally are taken seriously. So that's the reason the company decided that we not only need an information, but we need a proper structure. So it's a pleasure for me also to do something very novel, very new. This is not very common as far as I know in bed and mattress industry.
So one little tricky question. So it means since you are the sleep head and officer, are all the beds in your house are from the same organization which you are designing?
Well,
Mattresses.
honestly, I have worked for 18, 19 years in this industry. So I have beds from this organization, but I have also bed from earlier bed mattress companies where I have worked. So luckily I live with I have few bedrooms and there is a big cellar. So we have several beds. And yeah, of course, with this company, the latest one, but also from earlier companies.
So if I go a little more tweaky, the other bets that you use from the other organization, do you tear them apart and check it out also? What is the technology behind that?
I don't do.
You explore something?
And I don't do at home, but my colleagues in our research and
Yes,
development
R&D.
team,
I mean to say
yeah,
R&D,
R&D,
yes.
they of course they do. They want to learn. If someone else has done something, why to invent the wheel once again? So of course, and we also, as a commercial company, we want to see and know what competitors are doing. So
Okay.
yeah, we do, but I don't do it myself.
So as the chief sleep officer, how do you create a work culture that supports well-being and not just productivity of your employees in the organization?
Actually, my job has been a lot easier because we are based in Scandinavia. So already there are many good practices to make employees, we call colleagues, happier, more satisfied, and so forth. There are several. Even society does that. For example, in Sweden, for example, when you get your first child or when you get a child, between the husband and wife, between mother and father, you get 450 days of paid leave.
Okay.
So there are several of those things. So, and as a responsible corporate, we have on top of those other facilities and so on. So when I came, we started bringing more sleep and rest into the whole offering. So in some of our offices and even in the factory, there are 1 or 2 or 3 nap cubicles. So for 10, 15, 20 minutes, you can go there and take a quick nap to feel a bit more energized and so on. And then periodically, I have developed a sleep test based on scientific research and so on. So my colleagues take the test and they get to see their sleep profile. So in other words, sleep health. So awareness is probably the first step. If you want to improve anything, first you have to be aware that if it's working or not working. And then I also conduct time to time internal seminars, workshops to share with them hands-on tips what they can do to sleep better.
Are those sleep tests accessible to the general public also? Can
What
we
we have
also get
developed,
access to those sleep tests?
yeah, there is an extensive one that is much more detailed in the sense the analysis of the responses has to be done manually. So obviously that is not, but there is a shorter version which takes less than 2 minutes. That is accessible. You can answer those questions and you can see the result in a very graphical way on the screen. If you want, we can share the link in the podcast notes.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Just wanted to share with you and the audience, those who are here. Sir, if you see at my back, there is a green tower, something like that. That's a sleep chamber right now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm in center of happiness right now here. So we have kept up a sleep chamber also. So we have a bean bag inside it. It's almost 6 feet almost, and a bean bag is there, and some light music is there. So we have kept this at the back. So if you
Good.
can see that very clearly.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we have 2-3 options of different nature. So what student does is they can carry this. This is foldable. This is foldable. So
Yeah.
they can, like a camping stand. You must have seen
Yeah,
campings
yeah.
and all that. So we have 2-3 different versions of sleep chambers. So we take it to the garden in the campus. People can sit inside the sleep chamber, zip it out, and sit inside for 10 minutes, 5 minutes. If you want to lie down, so we have a bean bags for that. So just more relaxing and all.
It's a very innovative move. It's a good idea.
So even in the classroom, they want to just sit and they want to just come and sleep. So I said, go in the chamber and just sleep for some time. So sir, I'm tired. I want to relax. So they can relax in the library. They can relax in the cafeteria. They can relax in the car. So there is a different setup than we have done for the students. How do you, sir, since you are into Olympic trainers also, you have trainees. So wanted to know how they are different as a kind of a segment for sleep as compared to the employees or the colleagues, as the customers or the colleagues. How you differentiate between your profile of role?
They are different. They are different at least in 2 major ways. The first one is they are much younger than typical people who are working in offices and so on. They are usually early 20s, maybe 27, 28. Some are 30 plus in few sports, not many. So they are much younger. The other one is, since a lot depends on their performance on that particular day, so they are much more motivated to take their nutrition, their training, their sleep much more seriously than a typical non-athletes. But
They don't take it seriously.
No, they do. They do much more seriously than non-athletes. Yeah, than non-athletes.
Okay.
But for they train very hard, very intensive, several hours a day, 7, 8 hours, something. Some athletes in some sports and so on. So they need a bit longer and better quality sleep than many non-athletes. So their requirement of sleep is much higher than non-athletes. And even if you want to really go a bit deeper, they need a bit more deep sleep than probably non-athletes. So to optimize that part, I have to focus on that to ensure that they get longer sleep, proper deep sleep, and so on. So they are motivated, but they need a different kind of support and help. When I work with non-athletes, I work with CXOs and many other those corporate people. Their sleep is much worse than athletes, and in some cases, their lifestyle and all is not very helpful for their sleep. So their challenges are different compared to athletes. And in some cases also that even if they want to prioritize, there are other priorities than their sleep. So for an athlete, I don't need to motivate them to take their sleep very seriously. But when it comes to a senior executive in a big company, they are looking at the next promotion, next bonus, next review, next quarterly calls, which takes precedence over their own sleep. So there are different challenges.
Right. So next one coming up to you is from a different perspective. If like we have heard robots becoming the CEO of an organization, AI becoming an CEO of an organization. So if sleep becomes the CEO of an organization, what would be its top 3 leadership values?
I think
If sleep becomes
empathy.
the boss.
I think empathy, rather than putting too much pressure and expecting too much in a very short period of time, which puts an employee in a negative spiral. There is more pressure, you are more stressed, your productivity goes down, you deliver less, quality is compromised, and so forth, and then you get into a negative spiral. So empathy probably would be the top one. Then also accountability. You let people work timing wise, place wise, how they feel most productive than very strict rules that you have to be here in the office at 9 o'clock and you can't leave before 6 o'clock and whatnot. So empathy, accountability, and also hand-holding some support what they need. Sometimes in corporate we see that what is expected is well defined, but there are probably not supportive tools, techniques, processes in place to empower them to be able to deliver what they are expected. So empathy, accountability, and empowerment.
So something similar, there was a story I heard that there was an organization who said we need to check out how much food our horse eats. So we want to cut down on the costing of that. So they tried to reduce the food to half, and they observed for 1 week the horse was very okay. So the employee said, "Sir, we were wasting half of the food expenses on this horse. Horse is doing well on half the food." He said, "Very nice." So after some time, they reduced further half. So then they said, "Okay, sir, horse still working very well, and it is another 2 weeks gone. So we were wasting almost three-fourth of the amount of the expenses." He said, "Okay, cut down further half." And till then, it went almost zero. And then the report came. He said, "Okay, the food was not required. The horse died of old age."
Yeah, you can
So
always find an excuse.
they are finding an excuse. Yes, what you just said, कि support is required. So if support is there, the sleep pattern will change because the sleep will be well. Somebody said very wisely, if you can sleep well, the day was very well lived, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, even scientifically, you can see that. Like, there is a research which was done in Nebraska in the US. Schools start quite early in several parts of Western countries, even in India, I believe. So, and some people are morning types, some people are evening types. And even as a teenager, people tend to be evening types. So basically, kids were supposed to wake up too early to their liking and then go to work, to go to school. And in Nebraska, which is like very thinly populated, you can drive even after age of 16. So they looked at two things. They moved the school starting time 1 hour later. And they looked into the academic performance and the number of accidents.
Okay.
And both were positively affected in the sense academic performance became better, GPA, their grade point average became better, and number of accidents was reduced. So in the sense, if you take into account how as a humans we behave, we operate, and taking into that part in account, it's a win-win situation, but sometimes it's just very bureaucratically decided things which comes in the way of performance.
Mm. One thing coming to my mind now, we say in our research on happiness, okay, happiness increases productivity, say by 20%. Some research is saying that. So, do you believe those who are the happy employees at Jensen Beds, they are able to sell more, or they are able to do more something on some other level? Do you can support something on that, or you can share something on that aspect,
I mean,
performance?
we haven't done any survey like that to measure their happiness and then see the correlation or causation with their sales performance. But what we have seen is even if someone is working in Jensen own stores or partner stores, they get to buy Jensen beds at a discounted price. And people who sleep on Jensen beds, they tend to sell more Jensen beds. Now, we believe that our beds give best possible sleep. So I would say that if they start sleeping better, they start selling more. That would be my conclusion. I might be a little biased here. Um, and if you sleep better, no matter whether Jensen bed or some other bed, a better sleep helps you in many ways, including your performance. And if you are a salesperson, it will be higher sales. If you are a professor, probably you will teach better.
Right. I heard in Japan, there is a culture that they are required to have a short nap or a power nap, even in the organization they are working. So I think they have to stay on the same chair and sleep for 20 minutes, and then they continue. They don't move anywhere, but they sleep.
Mm, mm.
So I think they are implementing this power of sleep in a short nap or a power nap uh, to improve the performances. So is there any kind of a similar campaign or similar things you have heard of, or it is in place in Sweden, Norway, or other part of the world where corporate rest is emphasized?
Well, let me start from Japan part. What they are doing, or some companies in Japan are doing, this is they are doing not as a very big-hearted company. This is the need. And as you know, Japan has a very demanding work culture.
Demanding work culture.
So people work not 7, 8 hours, but much longer than 8 hours. And obviously, there are quite many other suicide and stress-related, other job-related problems that Japanese society has had for a long time. So if they are encouraging nap, it is in the benefit not only of the employees but also for the companies. Now, contrast to that, here in Scandinavia or even in Northern Europe, the work pressure is much less than what it could be in a country like China or Japan, and even in some cases, even in India. So the need for nap is not as acute as it could be in one of those places. The first thing. The second thing is here we start work normally at 8, end at 4. So at 9:30, 9:45, there will be a short break. We call it fika. 15 minutes, almost everyone will go in the coffee room. You grab a tea or coffee, or there might be some very small or some fruits. So you work 1.5 hours, then you get a short break. Then at 11:30 or 12, you have a lunch break for between 45 minutes to 1 hour. Then you have 2:30 to 3, 20 minutes of break, and then you end at 4. So you are recharging yourself several times in the day, and you eat properly, a proper meal, either in cafeteria or in coffee room and all that. So you are not eating in front of your computer or a desk. So the accumulated stress in typical North European workplaces is way less than how high it could be in many other places. So the need for nap here is, I would say, superfluous in a way.
So, just like we say in US, obesity is the number one disease.
Mm,
Suppose in Japan, we say it is the work pressure. So I
yeah.
remember one case where American president, not of a country, but a company president was
Mm,
transferred to Japan, and a
mm-hmm,
Japanese was transferred to the America. So the
mm,
Japanese president, when he went to America, he said, "Okay, people are working very less, so they
mm,
extended the time."
yeah.
The strikes happened in that US.
Yeah.
And when the American president came to Japan, and they said okay, they are working too much, so
Mm,
he reduced the timing.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was a strike in Japan. Okay,
Mm,
he is taking our love to work out from our control.
yeah.
So, and something similar in the American president, if somebody knocks at the home at night 3 o'clock, sir, there is a problem in the company, please come. He said, are you
Mm,
fool? Are you crazy? It's three
mm-hmm,
o'clock in the night. Why are you disturbing me right now? We see tomorrow
mm,
morning.
mm,
And then vice versa in the Japanese one says, okay,
yeah.
why didn't you came to my house at 2 o'clock?
Mm-hmm,
I could have
mm,
solved the problem.
yeah.
So sleep is maybe a cultural issue also, if that is one perspective. Okay,
It
some
is.
people they prefer work over sleep. Some people
Mm,
prefer the self over the work. That could be
mm-hmm.
one take on that. So is there any one highlight of Scandinavian countries? Like obesity is the biggest problem there. This is the biggest problem in Japan. What could be the most problem or most number of diseases happening in this country, this part of the world? Any idea on that?
I mean, one of the most healthy population in the world lives in Scandinavia. I mean, their per capita income is pretty high, so they eat well. Uh, in a positive way, they are obsessed with exercise.
They're
So very
obsessed
few
with that.
with exercise. So yeah, running, jogging, swimming, cycling, skiing, whatnot. So climate is good, healthcare is very, very good, and in most cases it's almost free, negligible cost. So you eat well, you have a good healthcare, your climate is much more conducive. There is not so much stress in your life, so they have a very long life expectancy as well. So they live long. So the problem is more obvious because we get a lot of high per capita dementia and cancer. But when you are 85, then you are, diagnosed with certain uh, disease. But what if you lived only 75? So in that sense, cancer and dementia is a problem, but it's also a problem which has come, in the limelight because the lifespan has become so long. A few years ago, we bought a house before moving to this house, and the lady, the husband wife. So one day, we were about to move, and I saw this lady cycling. She was 75, and she cycled, boom, like I was. Is she? Is it she? Is it someone else? So in the sense, people are very, very fit in that sense. So I can't put my finger. What is the problem in Scandinavia?
It's
Uh,
good, sir. It's good that you kind of pinpoint. And I remember in Japan, even in Ola in Japan, you can expect 100-year-old driver to come and pick you up. It's
hmm?
very common in Ola. Ola just reported.
Yeah.
It's very common in Japan. Thank you so much, sir, for taking up this second section on organizational happiness. And I'm sure the people who are with you for the sleep trainings in the Olympic trainers and the customers that whom you are and the organization employees, they must be having a good sleep and are the beds complimentary for all the employees.
It's not complimentary because the income tax rules are very strict. Company can give anything, but then the company has. So let's say my salary is 100 rupees or crown, whatever. Then company has to spend about 35 on top of this, whatever the social cost and so on. So if they give me a 10 rupee worth of product, they have to pay that 35 on top of that to the social costs. And now my income goes from 100 to 110, so I have to pay income tax on this one. So there is
But that
nothing.
is a gift. It is not a earning. So
Yeah,
you
the
have to
gift,
pay a tax on the gift of this
the
nature
gift,
also.
the free gift one can accept, if I remember correctly, 100 or 150 Swedish crown. You don't buy a bed for that. So it's very transparent and very strict, and people respect that. So even if company wants to gift a bed to someone, both parties have to pay the corresponding tax on that.
Recently, just want to bring your attention and the audience also, if they are aware of that. Recently, there was a case of organization in, I think, Diamond Merchant. He was giving the bungalows and the Mercedes
Mhm.
cars and the
Mhm.
cars as a gift, as a bonuses to the employees.
In Surat, yeah.
If yes, if that would have happened in Sweden or Norway, that company would have gone bankrupt. It means that, and
Yeah,
even
yeah,
the employees will have to pay more.
yeah, yeah. You can't do that.
So a boss cannot give a car as a gift to
Boss can't take a bed home free.
a boss himself cannot take the
Yeah.
bed home
No,
free.
no.
So he has to pay a tax or just because of that.
And company has to pay that cost. Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. Done. So now we move on to the third section, which is on spirituality. So we have taken the
Hmm.
first section on personal, we have taken second section on organizational perspectives, and you gave a different idea also just in the last question, just it came accidentally about that gift cannot be given,
Yeah.
uh, produce gift. Okay. What about if I just ask before this section starts, even in a university, scholarships are there. So scholarships is a kind of a gift to the employees. that if you are an employee, then you can offer this degree program at a much cheaper cost because you're an employee in a university. Does the same thing work there also?
So in the university, education is free of cost up to PhD. So there is
Yes,
no fee,
yes,
tuition
yes.
fee.
It's a free thing. Yes.
Yeah, but the society pays indirectly to taxpayers. And then if you are a student, and if you are a permanent resident or citizen of, let's say, Sweden, I know more about Sweden because I live here. So you get certain amount per month for 5 years. Half of that is long-term loan and half is scholarship. And that loan carries an interest, I don't know exactly, but less than 2%, which you pay over 40 years when you start, when you go to work. So people don't need to borrow from parents or from bank as a loan to support them. So tuition is free. The rest is kind of covered by the society. So no, there is no tax on that scholarship.
Okay. Let's move on to the third section on spirituality perspectives. So, what does spirituality mean to you?
I don't know if I have ever thought about that way, that what is a spirituality for me, but I think the first time I came across something serious was I lost my father about 10 years ago, and in 2015. And in 2016, I had gone for this 10-day retreat, where meditation retreat, where you don't talk, you don't, yeah, so many things you don't. And there I started realizing basically what's the meaning of life, what is the purpose of life, and those things. That was probably the first time I ever even thought about spirituality, if that is a spirituality. I'm not a very typical religious person. I mean, of course, time to time I go to temple, gurdwaras, all that, but finding a deeper meaning in what you do, how you contribute towards, how you interact with others, how you contribute to this world. And this has happened, I would say, last 10 years or so. So for me, becoming a better person, a better husband, a better teacher, a better colleague. So those things for me are kind of spirituality, if it makes sense.
Okay. We also don't intend that spirituality is to be merged with the religious context.
Mm,
So we are keeping it separate. So this
mm,
is, we assume it to be a kind of a lifestyle, and this is a
yeah,
kind of a connect with the higher self of ours. That's all.
mm,
Okay. It's an attraction that we are growing and we become better. Yes, you said very wisely that to become better person means spiritual for you also.
mm.
So do you have, since to become better person, to have a deeper meaning or to contribute to the world, do you remember any tools or experiences or practices that has pushed you to do that? And then you became a better person. You have a deeper conversation with the life. Do you remember any practices or activities that you have done or you still do and which fuels that journey to become a better person?
I think it reminds me because twice or thrice a day I go for a walk. I mean, and once after 3 times, once after lunch, I listen to a long podcast when I go for a walk. But other 2 times, so that's my time of reflection, and I don't listen any music or nothing, no earphones. That's my time of connecting. My every step, I focus on the step. I try to smell the fresh air and try to focus on the birds chirp and so on. So that's my practice of being grounded. But that's lately. But once I came back from that 10-day retreat, I have been twice. So the first 3 4 years, I used to do anywhere 10 20 minutes to half an hour of meditation every evening. I don't do formal meditation now, but this walk is now my meditation. Sometimes I walk in the garden without listening anything, and that's my meditation. So these are my reminders, refreshers to connect. And when I do that, I also remember some of the teachings of. So basically, I went to this Vipassana retreat. So some of the teachings by Mr. Goenka comes to mind. So nothing very complex, but easy, simple things.
So the word vipassana, as you just mentioned, just wanted to
Mm,
emphasize more on that. I'm sure you are fully aware, and the audience, some of them might not be aware. So vipassana word comes from the two word vipassana. It is from the pash dhatu. So
mm,
pash means look, to see, and when we say vipassana, it is to see again.
okay.
So you said the word reflection. So
Mm,
Vipassana is basically a sort of reflection that we have our own side, our inner side.
mm, mm,
So yes, even while walking, Vipassana is continuing. Even while eating, we can do. While we are taking a shower, it is
mm,
possible. So
yeah.
it is basically you are looking at your own self,
Mm,
and this is like called as turning inward. So
yeah.
the senses move outward, Vipassana is an effort to turn the mind inward. And once it
Exactly.
is inward, and then it is said as ke we are on a journey to merge with ourself. We
Yeah.
say Atma, Paramatma, or you can
Yeah. Yeah.
self,
Yeah.
higher self. So
Mm.
that keeps on going on. Okay. Sir, in moments of uncertainty or pressure, is there a higher principle or a belief that you turn for guidance?
I don't think I have done that formally many times. Maybe once my father was very sick in the ICU, I went to the temple and prayed to the God that, yeah. More than that, this acceptance thing has helped me in the sense whether it is something very positive, whether it is very negative. I remember probably Harivansh Rai Bachchan ji has said somewhere that whatever happens, happens for a reason, and whatever doesn't happen also happens for a reason. So acceptance, basically, and not not basing all the feelings and emotions based on what is happening. Try to take a step back or two steps back and keep a distance with what is happening. And mostly, as I said, I don't do formal meditation, but I might be agitated for a day or two, but then it goes back to the default position. So meditation in a way, but not formal, maybe mindfulness, we can say.
Can I dig you deeper just now what you said?
Mhm.
What agitates you still? Somebody's non-performance, somebody's behavior, somebody's chalta hai attitude. Like what still agitates you
I
as
mean,
a
many things agitate me because, of course, like everyone else, I have a certain view of the world. Things should happen this way, or things shouldn't happen that way, and many things. And of course, everyone is free to do and believe and act the way they do. And if there is a gap, of course, I don't like it. And for example, when I land in India, there is a long queue at immigration, and some officer who will be sitting with
Koi
three,
baat nahi.
and someone with having 10. There are many things which I don't
Unfair.
want to be personal, but anyway, and it's not only there; it happens somewhere else also. When people are doing something which doesn't make sense to me, of course, I don't like it. It doesn't agitate me, but sometimes things go a bit too far. So my desire, my wish, if that is not happening somewhere, then there is this stress, and that stress can agitate me. And sometimes if something is a bit too serious, then that stress can stay for a day or two. But then I try to cope up with it.
One of the thing that attracts or relates that if I want to relate the sleep science, the sleep profession of yours and spirituality is that somebody has said that if you have a good sleep in the night, you are relaxed next day.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has said also, if you talk to various gurus and spiritual people, those who are enlightened, and we read about them, they say once you become enlightened, this is param shanti. This
Mm-hmm.
is ultimate peace or ultimate relaxation.
Yeah.
So yes, the pebbles of somebody's behavior, pebbles in the thrown in the
Mm-hmm.
peacefulness lake of your mind can agitate or can put disturb that sleep or disturb that peace of a person. Yes, but that is the journey of being a spiritual person. We have to make our lake, you can say, resistant to all
Mm-hmm.
the outer influences.
Mm-hmm. As much
Similar,
as possible. Yes.
yes, some people who are sleeping, they don't want to get disturbed. They
Mm-hmm.
want to not even the clock sound. They don't want that. They don't
Mm-hmm.
even want the light color, the
Mm-hmm.
lights in the room, no
Mm-hmm.
TV in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So they want no distraction while they are sleeping. No mobile phone. Mobile phone also they put outside the
Mm-hmm.
room also. They put that.
Mm-hmm.
So something similar is the science of spirituality, science of sleep. Okay, you have to minimize the distraction.
Right.
Even if you read about the people who climb the mountains, they
Mm-hmm.
say to reach to the climb to peak of the mountain, you have to uh, throw the things that you were
Yeah.
carrying from the bottom.
Right.
So ideally, it is nakedness at the top that
Mm-hmm.
you cannot even bear the load of the last cloth.
Yeah.
But then when you start the journey, you have water, food, clothes,
Some
this,
package.
then back package you have. But that is the thing as we grow. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So sleep has to be resonates with that spirituality aspect a lot. So any book you would like to recommend, any book you have referred or you which resonates with spirituality and keeps you grounded? Why I'm saying this is there was one book by Steve Jobs. There was a book which was recommended by Steve Jobs. He said in the Apple a long
Mm,
time back, he wanted to put only one book as
mm,
a free book in that laptop or
mm.
in the MacBook was of one of the Swami Paramhansa. Mm,
The Journey of a Yogi.
Journey of a Yogi. So he kept
Yeah.
only one book in that. Even Virat Kohli says, if I want to
Mm,
read book again and again, I want to refer
mm,
that book. Some people refer different books. Some people refer different books for
mm,
spirituality. What would
mm.
be your book?
I think I was very much influenced by Stephen Covey's The Seven Habits of Effective People, because it has other things, but one habit that you start from the end. You visualize the last day in your life, you are dead, you are lying, and then you look back in your life, how you want your people around you, your friends, families, and colleagues to remember you. So that was probably my first brush with spirituality in that sense. When I read that book, it changed my way of thinking. So it might not be in a typical spiritual book, but for me, that part, that aspect has been very powerful.
So what you just said, I will connect with what you might have heard about Nobel Prize winners.
Mhm.
So the person who started that award was Alfred Nobel.
Yeah,
So there
that's
is a
neat.
story. There is a story behind why he started this Nobel Prize. I'm
Mhm.
sure many are aware of that. Okay, there was one accidental news being published in the newspaper that Alfred Nobel has died,
Yeah.
and he was alive. And everybody was reading what was written, that he is a horrible man. He was the man
Mhm.
responsible for all the wars and all that.
Dynamite. Yeah.
While he was reading the newspaper, his own obituary on
Mhm.
the morning breakfast table, his mind turned.
Mhm.
So that was a turning point for him. So something or the other turns the people, or you
Yeah.
can say shift the perspective to become more
Mhm.
relaxed, to accept even the King Ashoka,
Mhm.
even that also in the end of the war, he
Yeah.
became Buddhist. So
Mhm.
something turns, something turns. Okay. So do you see sleep itself as a spiritual act?
I see sleep as a mandatory step towards renewal of both your body, your brain. I mean, I don't know soul, but when you feel better, both physically and mentally, you are in a better place, you are in a well-being wise, you make better decisions, you do right things. And I
Okay.
think that can be spiritual in a way, when you are doing the things which is right rather than you are doing something which is driven by negative emotion, whether you are stressed or angry or irritated or depressed or whatnot. So indirectly, yes, but on a day-to-day basis, very directly, it's more about how your body regenerates, recoups, recharges over when you sleep. So sleep probably helps on the way to a better, becoming a better spiritual person, I would say.
Okay. So that's all for the third section that we had for the spirituality. And thank you for putting up new ideas, new perspectives on the questions that I have fired for you. Now, we move on to the very interesting section, Doctor. We would be having a cool fire section, sharing one liner question, and I
Okay.
will be requesting you to answer it as precisely in few words or few sentences as much as clearly without taking much of the time.
Okay.
So are you ready for that?
Yeah, sure. Fire.
Okay, fire. So you can also backfire. You can also backfire. Uh, the first question: sleep with a soft pillow or no pillow?
Soft pillow or even firm pillow, that depends how you sleep.
What is your preference? Soft or hard or no?
Soft but
In general.
medium. It depends on what kind of bed you are sleeping and how big your shoulders are and so forth. So without making it very complicated, you need your neck to be aligned. So if you need a higher pillow, it will be firm. If you need a, yeah, if you sleep on a very soft bed mattress, then you need a soft pillow. But most cases, you need a pillow, not without a pillow.
I heard, just correct me if I'm wrong, those who are overthinkers, they have to sleep with 2 or 3 pillows. Is it true scientifically? Will it helps?
I have not come across any scientific study to confirm or reject that. So I don't
Okay,
think
I
so.
will leave it for the next session.
Yeah.
Next, one word your children would use to describe you. Papa,
Yeah.
up,
Caring, very caring.
very caring.
Maybe you have to ask them.
Any favorite bedtime snack? कि रात को
I
खा
don't,
के वो सोना ही है.
I don't eat. I eat at least 3 hours before I go to bed. So I don't eat any snack.
So that's a sleep officer talking about now.
But that's my
Sleep.
habit now, and even
हाँ.
my wife does the same. So once you do that, you realize that it is so good, then probably, yeah.
But in normal people, normal culture people, what they do is they wake up at 2 o'clock. भूख लगी है, माँ भूख लगी है, या कुछ ना, सब सो भी रहे हो, फ्रिज में जाएंगे, कुछ खोलेंगे, खा के आ जाएंगे. और खाते खाते ही सोना है, खाते खाते ही उठना है. तो they have 4 times, 3 times, 5 times of food, 6 times happening a day.
It's not
Okay.
good, but that's a different topic. Yeah.
Yes, that's yes. The last song you listen to while hiking.
Birds chirping. When I hike, I listen to nature, not to my songs.
Okay, I will keep this in the mind. Swedish fika or Indian chai break?
I love to, when I'm in India, of course, chai break, and in Sweden, fika, but I eat only 3 times, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I don't eat or drink anything in between, but I hang out with people, talking and sipping water.
So to the audience, just want to emphasize one point. This chai word has a root in spirituality and sleep also. So this word chai came from, I think we heard the word mountain ta. So there was a Buddhist monk who was practicing meditation on this Mount Ta, and he wanted to wake up in the night. He wanted to stay alert in the night. So he carried some leaves. He curated some leaves, converted into a drink, and while he was drinking, and he used to drink while on the Mount Ta. So that Ta, and then eating that, it
Mhm.
became Thai and became Cha. Something
Right.
like we say Dhyan and became Zen in Japan, or Chan in Chinese.
Mm,
Something similar, we have this Ta becoming Chai, and then we are having that. So again, spiritual break with the chai, but the objective was different, to stay alert in the night.
mm.
Okay, next one. Most powerful nap you have ever taken, in the bus, in the here, home, travel,
Uh, A
walking.
few years ago, I was traveling quite often to Far East, or Indonesia, Jakarta, and Taiwan, and I will end up there very tired, and then I will have meeting in the afternoon. So usually before going into the meeting, I will take a 20-25 minutes nap. I did several times just to get into a better frame of mind.
So you have that strict process for taking the nap,
I carry
like a
this sleep mask, and
sleep mask,
I put on a noise canceling headphone,
noise cancelling headphones.
and then I play one of the yoga nidra script for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatnot. And it depends if I get a chance to like lie down, otherwise on an easy chair or sofa, I can do it.
Okay. If you weren't in the sleep industry, what would you be doing today?
I have changed my career several times. I love business development.
That's
Maybe,
evergreen.
yeah, yeah. So I might have been working more on the business side.
One thing people always get wrong about sleep.
They overestimate their sleep. They think that they sleep much better than what they do.
Okay. A book that changed how you see life or work.
I think I will go back again to this Stephen Covey's 7 Habits.
Okay. Cricket or curling? What wins your heart today?
Even today, it's cricket.
Today, cricket.
Yeah.
Most spiritually awakening place you have visited?
There are some fjords in Norway, glacier, and also it's a lot of nature, a glacier, sea, and cliff at the same place. It's a very unique landscape in Norway.
The
Um,
glacier, sea, and the cliff.
yeah, all at the same place. So it's Norwegian fjord. We have been to several, and it's somehow you feel very close to the God, if there is a God, in the sense nature and you're so small in front of all these big things. So Norwegian fjord, I would say, has been probably the most spiritual place I have ever been.
So, if I'm not wrong, there is a concept called as aurora, Nordic lights. Northern,
Yeah,
is it then the
Northern
same?
Light.
So, just on a personal note, I'm just saying, whenever I hear the word aurora, I feel happy.
Mm.
Ke my surname Aurora. So I said that is I will come sometime
Yeah,
and see
it's
aurora.
called Borealis aurora. So in the winter time, when it's very dark, night time, then you see this the northern lights. It's not only Norway; it's in Sweden, Finland, also very close to the Arctic Circle. Uh,
Okay.
it's very impressive, but it's not as impressive as it looks in the picture or video. In reality, it's much more subdued. Again, it's still very unique, but it's a little bit overhyped, I would, at least in my opinion.
So the camera makes anything more interesting. That is influencer effect of a camera.
Somehow it looks much more richer in the video or
Richer.
in the picture than what it is. But of course, it's a very unique thing. If given a chance, one should at least see it once.
Okay. The sleep tip in 5 words or few words. A sleep tip.
Well, two things. One is be consistent in your sleep timing.
Okay.
And second one is wind down before you go to sleep. Don't keep doing something stimulating to the last moment and then you sleep. Sleep is not a switch you can switch on and off. So give half an hour, 45 minutes away from anything which stimulates your brain, which
So
means,
lie
in
down.
other words, I mean, don't keep scrolling on mobile or watching on TV or working on laptop or whatnot. So in that sense, wind down. There is a transition phase you should give to yourself.
Thank you. And you did very well. You took all the firing questions, all the cool fires very softly, very humbly, very precisely. Thank you so much for taking up all the cool fires.
Sure, sure.
Sir, now we had another culture in our happiness podcast is when we have a guest coming up. So we ask the guest to leave a question for the next guest.
Guess will be that yes, it is happiness is going to change in future when we can control and program so many things around us. So, in other words, the bigger the gap between my expectation and my surrounding reality, the more opportunity for sadness, stress, negative emotions. If everything is as I wish, as I want, then there is much less risk of being unhappy. So if everything as per my wish, I should be happy. And AI might create or change, if not everything, then a lot many things around us, which will be as per our liking. For example, the Meta, the big company, Facebook and all, they are creating a companion, artificial companion with AI who will be like your friend. But if my friend never picks up on me, he never makes me unhappy, then I will be happier. But then it's another philosophical question, is that what I would like? But keeping that apart, if everything could be as per my liking, and AI might help in that, so in that sense, people might be more happy in future with the help of AI.
So now, in the continued version, I will be asking you to tell a joke. Okay.
Few years ago, we were in New Delhi, and we went as a family. We went to attend a wedding, and we have two kids. They have grown up here. So my younger son asked me that why everyone is on foot, but the dulha is on the horse. I couldn't come up with, of course, I mean, I wanted to be a little funny, and of course, my wife was by our side. So I said, this is the time the horse says to the dulha that this is your time. If you want to run away, run away.
That's a nice
because
one.
because no one will be able to catch you because you are on a horse.
So
Yeah.
now we have a practice attached with this, sir. I would request you to retell the joke in a
Mhm.
gibberish manner. So now, for the audience, those who are not aware of the word gibberish, gibberish is
Yeah.
a sound which we make in a language which we don't know. Suppose you are a person who speak English, so you don't have to speak in English, but any other language which you don't
Okay.
know. So if you know only one language, at least
Yeah.
in that language, don't speak. So I will request you to say, if I give you a demo,
Okay.
so that perspective, I would like to just you visualize your joke in your mind, and then you are telling the same joke, and you are saying the same joke in gibberish, and I will join you.
Okay. I mean, I can say the same joke in Swedish, which might sound gibberish to many.
Okay, okay.
Okej, så vi var i Indien en gång och sen min son frågade mig, hej, varför är den här killen på en häst? Ja, jag undrade, häst? Jag kunde inte komma med någon bra förklaring. Så jag sa att det här är sista chansen för den här killen för att springa bort om han vill inte gifta sig. Att det var mycket roligt för honom. The same thing.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. So the idea of having this one small activity is to convey a thought process. Okay, the stress is only in the meaning. The
Mm,
sleep dissolves because of the meaning that you interpret. If you can change the meaning of what you hear, if you can change the meaning of what you are conveying, so I hope the sleep may get better. You become more spiritual, you become more happier. But people are fixed their mind on the meaning that
mm.
brings more unhappiness. They have to change this perspective and change to a different, lighter meaning if they can do that.
Very true. Very true.
Thank you for being very sporty.
I think then it has to be around happiness. Do you think that material things make us more happy than non-material things, as per your own experience?
With this, we come to the end of the main interactive session. It's time for the audience to take up some questions. Mr. Manav, good to see you.
Very, very beautiful afternoon. And first of all, I really want to say lots of thanks to both of you, Sanjay ji and Nitin ji. Great podcast. One of the best podcasts I've ever attended. And the curiosity was because Chief Sleep Officer I've never heard. So that brought me here. So this is the biggest curiosity because I am the Chief Happiness Officer, and my next
Okay.
target is now to become Chief Sleep Officer sometime in the future. So so my question, Sanjay ji, to you is that my motivation is after today's session, I sleep better. That is the reason
Mhm.
I came here.
Yeah.
So we know a lot of things. We always know that we have to, eat early. We have to
Mhm.
do these things, but actually things we don't practice much. We know a lot of things, but in action
Yeah.
it doesn't happen. So I want
Mm.
any one or two things, like you said one thing, that food thing, that gap. I will now remember that, and I will try to put thing in my head to take my last meal at least 1 hour earlier. if not 3 hours earlier, at least
Mm-hmm.
one. Any one or two more things which you want to say to make our sleep life better?
I mean, it's not so easy to give very appropriate advice because I don't know, people have different challenges and different lifestyle. There are some universal things. There are many things on the internet most people know, but try to, which I mentioned earlier also, that try to give a transition period before you sleep. Don't try to pack your last half an hour, last 1 hour with very demanding things, then it will affect your sleep much more. So read a book 10-15 minutes, the not on the Kindle or the mobile phone or iPad, but the old school, old style books. Reading 10-15 minutes is a good transition. And try to wake up, even if you go to bed different times due to different pressures and so on, try to wake up at the same time, more or less 10-15 minutes plus minus. We have this circadian clock in our brain, which affects a lot many things. Waking up all 7 days, don't try to oversleep longer on Sundays and Saturdays when you have time. So consistency, waking up same time, and there are several things. Don't drink too much tea, coffee very close, 3-4 hours and all that. There are several those sleep hygiene related things.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Thank
so welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Manav, for the question. A wonderful friend and a chief happiness officer at a wonderful university. And I'm sure your students will get this message via you to sleep better and be happier. Good to see you, my friend.
thank you.
Dr.
Hello,
Silky,
good evening, Dr. Nitin, and I'm finding this platform to see you also, and so
thank you,
very
doctor.
thankful to the speaker. I really found this topic very interesting, so just thought to connect. And my question to the speaker is that I've heard about the frequency, that there are particular frequency or music which we can listen and which can help us in having the deep, relaxing sleep. Yeah, is that the case, or if the speaker would like to tell that, that would be of help?
Yeah, actually it's true. It's called binaural music.
Okay,
Uh, so basically, it works in a very, I can explain in a very simple manner that our brain mirrors what is happening around us. So let's say you step into a nightclub with very fast music and all that. Your brain will become very stimulated to reflect this high pitch music happening around you. On the other hand, if you are standing on a beach looking towards the sea, and the waves are coming like once every 2 seconds and 3 seconds, very soon your brain will become very, very calm. So our brain reflects. So with the help of this binaural music, you can find it on YouTube and other Spotify and other platforms. You have to select or search for binaural music deep sleep. There are different varieties. And then you have to listen through a good headphone. It doesn't work from a speaker system. So basically, the music is played in two different frequencies. It could be 500 and 508. So after half a minute or minute, your brain will perceive the difference only 8 hertz per second. And your brain could be, when you go to bed, when you are very stimulated, we are very active, your brain could be at 80 or 100 hertz per second. So in 10-15 minutes time, your brain activity will be brought down to somewhere 10, 12, 15 hertz per second. So you will be more able to fall asleep. So binaural music works. Look for deep sleep kind. If you look for focus, it will agitate your mind, your brain even more. So it works. It helps. Listen for 10-15 minutes. Don't do it every day.
okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
With this, we come to the most pleasing section, or you can say pleasing part or ceremony of this event, which is a memento giving ceremony. So if you would have been in India, we would have been in a different format of interaction. but in this world, I cannot even give you a hug virtually. But yes, we can do that.
It's a
But
pleasure.
then, even if I want to give you a flower, that is also a digital one. But then, in the digital world, there has to be a different kind of a memento. We thought about that. So if you say, I will, on behalf of Amity University, Reiki Foundation, Center for Science of Happiness, we would like to give you a digital memento. You can say we created a song for you, and
Oh,
it is
wow.
a custom song for you. And I will play this song, a memento for you, on behalf of the students, faculty members, and our wonderful Amity University. Let me know how you feel it, sir.
Yeah.
From the land of calm and midnight sun to our campus where dreams are spun, you brought us rest, you brought us light. In sleepless worlds, you made it right. Thank you, Sanjay, for showing the way to sleep with peace at the end of the day. With science and soul, you gently remind that harmony starts in the stillness of night. From Olympic fire to student hearts, you've blended wisdom with healing arts. With every word and every smile, you've made our journey more worthwhile. Thank you, Sanjay, for showing the way to sleep with peace at the end of the day. With science and soul, you gently remind that harmony starts in the stillness of mind. From Amity's halls we sing aloud, with God of happiness blessing standing proud. A world of joy, a world of grace, with leaders like you we find our place. Thank you, Sanjay, for walking this mile with warmth, with wisdom, and with style. The center of happiness stands and sings in sleep and joy. Your presence rings. From a land of calm and midnight sun to armored campus mild.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really, really impressed. And yeah, great.
Glad. Thank you so much.
Mhm,
Glad you loved it.
mhm.
So the song also, we were trying to make it sleep in the end. So once it was going hyper, when it's going
Mhm.
up, then we make it very sleeper in the end also.
Great. Thank you.
Glad you loved it, sir. Now with this, we come to the closing section, and we request you. We had a wonderful time with you, and I'm sure you had the similar
Yeah,
feelings.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And same with the audience, those who are attached with us till this time is almost 90 minutes plus. We come to this section, we say is closing section, and we request the audience to give means the guest to you to give a closing speech or a closing message to the wonderful audience who are listening to you. Over to you.
Well, I think India, Bharat is progressing like anything. We all have to play our role in helping our country reach even to greater heights in whatever role we are, whether you are a professor, a student, or a CEO, or whatever. We all can do much better if we sleep better. So, not as a professional, but also as a member of the society. As I said earlier, that as a father, as a sister, as a mother, whoever, we have different roles. Everything becomes better when we sleep better. And to sleep better, we don't have to sacrifice a lot of things. We have to just stick to little bit common sense things and have a little bit more disciplined lifestyle. So the choices we make in daytime, in the evening, affects, among other things, our sleep. So my main message will be, don't ignore your sleep. Uh, Try to take care of it. And the example comes to my mind that there was a woodcutter who was busy in felling trees in a jungle, and he wouldn't take time to sharpen his saw. He will keep just cutting and cutting and cutting, even with the very blunt blade. So you are not cutting a lot more. If you take the time out, sharpen your saw, and you go back, you will be cut more trees. So try to find time for many other things like exercise and also other things. But also prioritize your sleep. You will do everything else when you are awake much better. So sleep is not a waste of time. It's actually it makes everything else more productive and better quality. So sleep well and work on your sleep. Don't ignore it.
Thank you, sir, for the message. I just want to say one lighter thing also. In the class, when we teach how to sleep, they love this classes the most. Because they say, okay, sir, we have been stressed out for so long, but this
Yeah.
class of sleep is the best class. And then they apply the techniques also in the home. So,
Great.
and sometimes they come with the family members. Okay, sir, my mom
Mm-hmm.
has a problem. My this has a problem. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a sleep professor. I'm not a sleep doctor. But
Yeah.
yes, I know some methods, just like you have conveyed. We are not sleep professionals, but yes,
Yeah.
few methods, work it out. This is
Yeah.
open science and open for everybody. You can use
Right.
that. And we are
Right.
just like spreading awareness about how to sleep better. With this, we come to an end. And as we come to the close of this truly enriching conversation, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our esteemed guest, Dr. Sanjay Sharma, for sharing such profound insights with us today, blending science of sleep, leadership, and spirit in a way that speaks to the very essence of the podcast, Executive Harmony. To all our students, faculty members, and staff and listeners who joined us today, thank you for your presence, your curiosity, and your commitment to grow, not just academically or professionally, but personally and spiritually also. We express our deepest gratitude to our Honorable Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Atul Chauhan, whose visionary leadership reminds us every day that student success is incomplete without student happiness. We also thank our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, sir, whose foresight has given birth to this university system and that leads with a purpose across education, innovation, nation building, and now happiness mission is going on. As the heart of today's session in our own Amity University Reiki Foundation Center for Science of Happiness, it's a unique initiative working tirelessly to bring scientific understanding, practical tools, and meaningful experiences around happiness and well-being to every corner. We look forward to many more such inspiring sessions that align with the deeper values of executive harmony, exploring leadership that is not just successful, but also conscious, compassionate, and truly human. Until next time, stay inspired, stay grounded, and stay happy. Thank you from here. Signing off from here, Professor Nitin Arora, and thank you once again to you, Dr. Sanjay,
Thank
for
you.
being
Thank you.
our
Pleasure.
guest. And thank you so much. Thank you to all the wonderful audience who are listening, staying attached, asking questions. Thank you to all of you. And thank you, dear IT, who is coordinating from since morning and for this session. Thank you so much to you also. Thank you. And we sign off from here. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
हे हे चलो ना ढूंढे शहर एक नया जहां मुस्कुराहटे हैं बिखरी जहां से गम का मौसम गया, जहां मीठी बातें हर एक अजनबी से हो, भूले हम भी जो सारी फिक्रें, लम्हा लम्हा खुशियां।
आजकल सारे उदास रह रहे हैं, लेकिन आपकी जिंदगी में कुछ खुशी का जरिया होगा, तो आपको क्या खुश करता है?
What makes you happy?
पैसा और वर्किंग आउट। पैसा और वर्किंग आउट।
फ्रेंड्स, बेस्ट फ्रेंड।
बेस्ट फ्रेंड। ओके। तो इसके अलावा और कुछ? फैमिली। और पैसा रहेगा तो सब अपने आप ही खुश हो जाएंगे, इसलिए यही आप कहना चाह रहे हो। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
चलो ना गाए नए नए गीत, खेल ऐसा क्यों ना कोई खेल जिसमें सब ही की हो जीत। इन दिनों भूलो तारे कोई भी देखता नहीं, देखे उनको दीवाने हो के कोई कितना भी हमको टोके। खुली हवा हो खुला समा, जागे हुए हो सब अरमा, बेबे 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 हम धड़कन दिल जैसे धड़कने धड़कने दो, क्यों है कोई आग नबी, शोला जो भड़कने भड़कने दो।
हाय, कैसे हो? खाया क्या? खुशियों की कसम। ओ हेलो, ऑफ है मूड, सैड हो तो सुनो, देखो मैंने तो खा ली है हैप्पीनेस वाली कसम, इसके साथ ही कह दिया टाटा बाय टू ऑल द गम। हाय, कैसे हो? खुश हो क्या? सच कहो। ओके लिसन, देखो ना झूम रही हूँ पूछो कैसे, सबको रिकमेंड करती हूँ मैं हैप्पीनेस वाली कसम, जिंदगी में एक ही काफी है, नो टेंशन हम हैं मगन।